Right, hello everyone. Welcome to How to Run with Coach Jamie. So I want to go for a run today, and I thought I would bring you along kind of through the process and show you what I do to get my body ready, and then things I think about particularly at the beginning of the run to get me moving in a way which is sort of conducive to healthy strides and keeping my body happy. I don't want my run to be something which I finish and feel like aches and pains in. So all of this work that I'm going to do at the start is about trying to give myself the best possible opportunity of having an enhancetive run, a run which makes me feel good and that I enjoy the process of, and also makes my body healthier and stronger and happier, like in a traditional exercise sense. So we're going to get going with my favorite warm-up exercises now. Okay, now I really love elastic bands for warming up, or the resistance bands, but I wanted to give you exercises where you don't need any equipment at all. So the first thing we're going to do is a horse stance. This comes from martial arts actually, and I learnt it first when I went to China when I was 19 and then revisited it when I was a lot older. One of my handstand coaches gave it to me as a warm-up. So we're going to do it now. Bring your feet sort of to a 10 and a 2. Make sure that your knees are tracking over your feet so they're not collapsing in and not pressing out too wide. Tracking over your feet, okay? So then the really significant thing is that you're going to drop slightly. We have to bring in a posterior tilt. That means the hips are coming up this way. I'm also stretching up tall through my back. Can you see how that gives me a flat backed posture, okay? Now I'm going to sort of press backwards through my hips, but try and keep up nice and tall so I don't go like this. I've got a tall posture and I'm coming down, keeping my quad on top and giving myself activation in my glutes and my hamstrings. Now I'm going to hold this for 1 minute here. I like to press my arms long and in front like this. I get external rotation in my arms here as well, activating my lats. My arms are going to be a significant part of my run, so I want this to be a whole body warm-up, everything integrated. I'm keeping breathing. As I breathe out, I sort of sink a little bit lower, trying to encourage that posterior tilt a little bit more, and I'm working the ground apart. So now I'm starting to get work in the insides and my hip flexors here. So I'm going to sink into that, bring it into my hamstrings, and I'm really squeezing my glutes on. Pressing through the floor, pressing through the floor. Let's see, I've done 38 seconds, so we're going for the minute. Down and in, drawing in, long, 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 long. And then the other thing with this is I'm trying to split the ground apart. So it's very, very active. I'm not just hanging here. Upwards postural creation. And that's going to really feed into this idea of a body which is interested in and invested in its own self-development, trying to get stronger with every step that we take rather than being broken down by our stride. Whew. Okay, cool. That was 1 minute and 7. So I've got a nice bit of activation in my quads and my hips, and you can hear my breathing's already going. Now we're going to move into the second exercise. So same setup, down, posterior tilt in the hips. This time, with that horse stance posture, I'm going to drop this knee in and see I've got this sort of like 290 degrees positions, drawing into my core. I'm really engaging my glute now, really squeezing in the side, really squeezing in underneath, pulling the posterior tilt, pulling my abdomen in. You see it sucked away, long through my neck and my back. I'm going to do 30 seconds here. I've done 15. So I can really feel stretch through the quad and the hip flexor, powerful in this hamstring and this glute. I can reach like this again if I want to. And then that's also coming up the adductor, the inside of my leg. So, and that's 30 seconds on that one. And that's going to be significant because this taking off section of the stride, boom, when the glutes engage and the hamstrings engage, which propels you forwards. I also want my hip flexor to be released off so that it's nice and loose in that moment of the action. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next position. So again, I set my horse stance, come to here, posterior tilt, coming into my sideways lunge as best as I can, sort of 90-90 kind of thing. Really pressing in, engaging my glutes there. You'll have different sensations on different sides, or at least that's what I find. And I'm trying to drop low, active through that front leg, like pressure away through the floor, not pushing through my knee, pushing the floor like friction, okay? Friction through the front foot. 22 seconds, strong and engaged, pulling in. Breathe out. develop the shape, draw in the abdomen, engaged in the glutes, really, really strong, really, really good. Nice. Okay, cool. So that's given me warm up and activation, all the big muscles in my legs, my glutes, my quads, my hip flexors and my adductors have all now got some activation firing through them. So I want to move down into my calves and my ankles. These are going to be significant as well, right? So I'm going to use all of that activation I just had, pull in to the hip, strong. Look at the posture. I've really asserted the position, okay? I'm not just like this. My muscles are really engaged. I'm working quite hard in this situation, okay? And I'm going to go for 20 reps on this one leg, okay, for 5. And as I do this, I'm trying to get taller. I'm drawing in to my core, working the whole way through my leg, long up the back of my neck, trying to keep this nice tall posture. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Hold the top strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whilst I'm at the top there, I'm pulling in through that hip, through the hamstring, getting my hip long and open, and I get a sort of nervy sensation up the whole leg. Now this leg is really firing and active, okay? A lot of activation in there, ready to do work, which is what we want. We're going to go on our run, like, right? So hip engaged on the other side. And when you're running, it's perpetual impact for your leg. So you really want those muscles to be in a state where they're ready for that kind of work, okay? So I'm pressing strong all the way through here, 12, 13, 14, getting tall, drawing in along through the back of the neck, 7, 18, 19, 20, and again, engaging in there, 3, 4, 5, really good. Whew. Okay, cool. So leg activation is going pretty well. I want some core and lower back activation as well. So we're going to move on to that now. Okay, so I've come down to the floor and we're going to go for some posterior tilt glute bridges, okay? So I'm going to set myself up like this. Feet are strong and down into the ground. My knees are hip width apart, okay? Not too far out here. Strong through there. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to bring in a posterior tilt into my hips, and that means my hips are going to curl this way. My pelvis is going to curl this way up, okay? That's going to lift it up and away from the floor. So I'm going to let it come up as high as it possibly can. Then my rib cage needs to pull down in the opposite direction. Pack your rib cage in, like there's a big heavy weight here. But at the same time, your hips are pressing, posteriorly tilting and pressing upwards in the opposite direction. So you have these two forces going, engaging through my abdomen, nice and strong. And that's giving me a massive fire up in my glutes and my hamstrings, okay? So I'm strong here at the top, really engaged. You can hear how much I'm working in my voice. Roll down one vertebrae at a time, keeping that activation. Keep that idea of that top position. And then roll back up, rib cage in. Roll down, roll up 3. We're going to go for 10, so that's 4, 5, good. And 6, packing this in, 7, 8, good. 9 and 10. We're going to hold 15 seconds, build the intensity, build the position. I can also bring activation into the middle, into my adductors. I'm working along the outside of my legs, pressing, just getting as much activation as I can, everywhere that I possibly can. Cool, we're done with that. And we're going to go into 15 sit-ups really quickly, getting your abdomen engaged as well and connected to everything that we've just done in your hips and your legs. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cool. And now I'm in a really, really good position to go and start doing some actual movement. We'll do a few little mobilization sort of stretches, and then we're going to get outside. Okay, so we do want to do just a little bit of sort of mobilizing for our ankles. So this is a nice ankle mobilizer that I got from my dance teacher back when I was a competitive gymnast. Bring your foot up like this, cross it over so that it's on the floor like that. Okay, so you see length through the whole leg, and I'm just tucking it in next to my foot there, okay? Now with this leg, the standing leg, I'm going to bend and press forwards through there. And that's just helping to open up through here. So just bending, pressing forward through there, gives me a nice little bit of a stretch in my toes as well. I wouldn't recommend doing this on a hard floor like I am. It's very, very uncomfortable. So if you've got a mat or some shoes, you can do it on there, or some carpet or something. Bending and pressing through there. After that, what we're going to go for is just a standard sort of calf stretch. Get nice and long through there, but I can also bend my knee in this moment, and also play with the position of my ankle. Look, I can roll it over here, I can roll it over there. I'm going to go for a little bit more on the other side. Bending the knee, bend and open over there, over there. Nice. Feeling good. Okay, some slightly more conventional stuff now. Again, a little bit more for the quad and the hip flexor. You've probably seen people doing this, okay? A lot of people don't get any stretch in this at all, because look at my upper body. My upper body is actually compensated to allow the hip flexor to stay closed. If I straightened my leg from here, my hip flexor is actually at this angle, which is equivalent to me being about this far folded forwards, okay? So the key is we need to keep this hip flexor angle open, and the key to that is in our posterior tilt that we used in the glute bridges. Bringing my hips in and underneath. Now this has come to a 90 degree, okay? I'm also drawing in my abdomen. That's keeping my body long through this front plane, all right? Now, if I try to bend my knee, I'm going to encounter, it's going to stop naturally, because I obviously can't pull it the whole way up, so that's a little bit of a lie. But yeah, keeping this plane open, that's the most important thing. So right now, I'm here. Posterior tilt, pull, draw in the abdomen. If I'm pulling a posterior tilt and pulling, then I get this plane to be nice and open, and I'll get an effective stretch through the front of my hip flexor and my quad. Engaging the glute, squeezing in there like we did earlier on, and that's going to give us a really good stretch through the front of our quad. I can also just sort of slightly pull it out to the side like this, get a little bit more going on in the inside. We'll do the same on the other side. Posterior tilt, drawing the hips in, engaged in the glute through there, squeezing in, a little bit of rotation, press, 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 press. That's giving me a really nice stretch through the front of my quad. Maybe that some of you really need to pull and tilt and then squeeze in on here to get the activation. But there we go, that's going well for us. And we'll go one more, and then we're going to get out and run. Okay, so this stretch is just a little bit for the inside of your leg, your adductors, and adductors. So you're just going to put your leg up here, or a little bit lower if you're not even this flexible, okay? I'm going to sit my hips backwards. So let me show you what I did just there. Leg goes up, anterior tilt this time. So bum out to the back, okay? Bum out to the back, bend the knee. Those are the only two actions you need. Bum out to the back, bend the knee. And that's going to give you a stretch all up the inside of your leg. Bum to the back, chest forwards, bend the knee. I'm in there, I can pulse. I can turn a little bit, turn towards it, come underneath, bend and pulse, bend and pulse. Same on the other side. Anterior tilt, bum to the back, hips out, bend the knee, bend and bend. If it comes into your knee, just slightly bend your knee and then get back to bending, and that will bring it more into the hamstring, and sending your bum to the back brings it into the glute. So just that again, because it's important. If this hurts your knee when you bend, you need to just soften, slightly take the bend out of your knee, and then that will bring it much more into the adductors and the hamstrings. Okay, that's everything we need to do by way of mobilization and activation. Stretching, let's go running. Okay, here we are. We are outside, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how you can actually begin the act of running. Okay, first I'm going to talk about walking, all right? So what I do, I imagine a little yellow ball just behind my belly button. I'm going to take control of that with my abdomen. I'm holding it tight, close, let's say, not tight, sorry, like a canary, like a little bird, but you've got control of it. In your core, in your sides, in your back, long up through your back, okay? Now, as long as this little yellow ball is above my feet, I'm going to stay standing upright. If I move the little yellow ball from above my feet, I have to walk to catch myself. And in this way, I can initiate the act of walking completely organically within the realm of my own body. It's completely coordinated movement. My center of mass has begun the action and my body comes with me. And because of all that activation we've done, it's a synergist movement. There's connectivity in it, and it's a movement which promotes good posture and a sort of healthy movement. So I can use that same idea to begin my running stride. Imagine a red box around your feet. If the little yellow ball moves outside of the red box, then you move forwards, okay? And that's how we're going to begin to run. What I want you to try doing is draw into the ball, stand on the edge of the box, and just start to bounce slightly, then move the ball and move away like this. And that's how you're going to actually begin the running stride. So if I come back here, I'm going to draw into the little yellow ball, drawn in, drawn in, drawn in, take it to the edge, just start to bounce and then lean it a bit more, and then I'm into my running action, and it begins. Once you're actually running and you're in the motion, keep drawn into the ball. Keep a sensation of upwardsness and notice your body just kind of carry you. And then with your arms, one last technical point, feel them like on a journey next to your body. Look, a journey like this, and that there's like a pendulum weight that's going whoom, 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 whoom. Really relax, whoom, whoom, action. And that feel these weights like whoom, boom, like that. But the body is nice and controlled. So these are shum, shum, flying along as the little yellow ball carries you forwards. And if you want to go faster, just lean a little bit more, press a bit more out of your body. And that's how you're going to kind of create the entire movement. So with all of that said, we're gonna get going. Okay, so here we go. So drawing into the ball, leaning the ball forwards, bouncing, lean, and I'm away. And I'm back. Well, I hope you enjoyed coming along on my run with me, some of the things that I saw while I was out and about, and I hope that the beginning of the video was useful for you, that you learned something about how to activate your body prior to a run so that the run can be this enhanceative and enjoyable thing where your body's getting stronger and stronger with every stride. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop me a like and a subscribe, and if you'd like any help personally with your running, then you can contact me as a coach at coachjamie.co.uk or at _coach.jamie_ on my Instagram. But for now, that's it all, and hope you have a great day. See you later.